Hello everyone, you are on the channel of the largest electric motor technology store in Russia and the CIS countries, Simargal Electro. My name is Grigory. And after we released the review of the Rezon Bohemia electric bike, many subscribers have been saying, guys, why don't you just do a comparison? The full-fledged, all-round and the Rezon bike are basically the same. So if you haven't watched our video about the Rezon Bohemia yet, the link is in the description. Now let's move on to the comparison. The Rezon Bohemia is 100% better. Let's start with the design. The first thing that catches your eye is the headlight. The Alrendo is equipped with the same headlight that's installed on most budget, no-name divals or devils, call them whatever you like, call them whatever you want. First of all, it's not original, you can find it in many places. Secondly, its light is rather mediocre. If you compare it to the Rezon's light is significantly better. The Rezon's headlight is also distinctive in its visual appearance because it's a specially made headlight for this bike with a logo inside. Next, let's look at the side plastic. Here, there's a very significant and noticeable difference because Rezon has undergone a complete and total redesign of the tank and the side plastic. Take a look at what was done on the Alrendo. First of all, there are fake air intakes here which, well, don't actually take in any air. It's not needed there at all. But they're here because this design was originally made for a gasoline bike. Here it is. The budget Devil models have the same side plastic. Here, look, there are little grills. They also don't really serve any function, but they're here because that's how the plastic was originally designed. Next, what I don't like here are the bolts. So looking at these screw holes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are a whole bunch of holes, and the quality of the plastic itself, you can really see it up close. It is clear that inside the holes, it is not really painted properly at all. There are spots where the plastic is just plain white or the paint is already worn off. Overall, it all looks pretty questionable to me. Yes, of course, about 3 years ago, we compared it to the tanks that were available and thought, wow, that is really cool. But now with the new models that have come out, it is becoming quite obvious that it's no longer up to par. On the Arizona, as mentioned, the side plastic is redesigned. They've removed the unneeded air intakes here. Now we have a beautiful glossy finish above a nice matte plastic. There are actually no holes here that are supposedly meant for airflow. There just are not any. Just attractive contours. Moving on to the next part, the bolt holes have been eliminated here. You can see everything is neat here. None of those stupid, awkwardly protruding screws. Yes, they remain on the lower part. Here is the skid plate, which basically hasn't been redesigned. On the Alrendo, it's exactly the same, just with different paint. It still has 2 holes for bolts here. But the upper part looks significantly better than on the Alrendo. At the same time, it now looks much more like a true electric motorcycle. It's not just that they took the design of a gas motorcycle from somewhere, stole the plastic, slapped it onto an electric bike and called it a day. Here, this is a real electric bike. No, here everything is made from scratch, beautifully, specifically for an electric bike. The next thing that differs in the design is the side cover on the battery. On the Alrendo, basically, it's a metal sheet that's been milled. It covers the battery and essentially it's like a protective lid or something similar. But it's thin, made of metal with something like the Alrendo logo on it, but there's one major issue. It's very thin and poorly secured. Here, I don't know if you can hear it or not, right on the lapel mic. It actually rattles. While it certainly looks quite decent, on the Rezon, the situation is entirely different, so we have to replace the component. On the Rezon, right here, we have a large sheet of milled aluminum. First of all, it covers everything completely, all the way from the top, from here down to the very bottom. Secondly, it looks much more massive, probably because the milling here is much deeper and there's no rattling here, everything looks nice. It's well and securely fastened, and from a visual perspective, I find it significantly more appealing. So they didn't try to engrave the letter R here. They have meticulously crafted beautiful milling patterns that perfectly complement the overall design of the bike's side plastic panels. The especially sharp-eyed viewers have already noticed the slider here, which isn't present on the Bohemia rubber, but I have to disappoint or perhaps please you, depending on which electric bike you're rooting for. Even though there is a slider here, if you fall on it or hit it with something, it's so weakly attached that the plastic will crack anyway, and you'll still have to replace the plastic. And as they say, if you can't see the difference, why pay more? If the plastic is going to break either way, why install a slider at all? Let's move on with the design. The next thing that catches your eye is the rims, the wheels. Here we have, well, I don't even know what to call it. Basically, there's something here, maybe something kind of original, but wheels of this type can now be easily put on almost any bike. And it's not really some kind of innovation or anything particularly original. But if we look, for example, at the Rezon Bohemia, there we have much more interesting wheels. I don't know how to put it into words, I probably don't have the vocabulary to describe it, but just take a look visually and tell me, or even write in the comments, which rims do you like more? Let's find the person who will say that the all-round has better looking ones. We'll leave dislikes on those comments. Another important part of the design is the seat. Basically, they're the same shape here, but there are differences. The first difference is that here we have completely different materials. Here the material is somewhat thinner, probably, and more textured. Here it's denser and almost without texture. Next, the padding. Here, let's say, it's significantly softer to the touch. Because of this, your backside is going to feel fatigued more quickly. Over here, the padding is much denser and offers a lot more spring. And right here, there is no stitching, while over here we have this nice decorative stitch. It might not serve any real practical function, but in my opinion, it looks much better. Another design element is the rear swing arm. On the Alrendo, notice that the motor is shifted to the upper part, and because of this, there is some kind of, let's say, a bit of a hassle here under the shock absorber. On the Bohemia, the motor was moved to the lower part of the swing arm, and basically it's hidden behind the footrest. Take a look at how it's done there. It seems to me that this swing arm option looks much more interesting. It just looks better. In addition to this, on the Alrendo swing arm, the shapes here are pretty straight and ordinary, and the swing arm itself seems kind of thin, you know? Probably because of these cutouts, because of the thin sections. There, the swing arm looks monolithic, and it has this interesting bend. In general, I don't know about you, but for me personally, I like the swing arm on the reasonable Boheme much more. And without straying too far from the topic, so to speak, let's move right on to the coating. Because there, the swing arm is covered with a durable powder paint that has a very interesting texture and a kind of unique sparkle on. In general, it sparkles brilliantly in the sunlight. When illuminated, it looks incredibly impressive. Alrendo seems to have the same thing, but it still looks a bit more budget-friendly. A bit more about the design, the controls and mirrors. Well, to start with, I'll nitpick the mirrors, because here on the Alrendo, the adjustment is done with manual nuts. And here the adjustment is also with nuts, and the mirror itself is just, well, an ordinary basic mirror. On the Boheme, first of all, there are no extra mounting nuts. There's just this one nut that adjusts how the mirror sits in its socket. Next, this mirror. Well, first of all, it looks quite unusual because I haven't seen a mirror like this anywhere else. On these budget-friendly electric bikes, it adjusts in just one plane. This specific part right here is adjustable, and you can also easily adjust its tilt, like this, moving it up and down. That is definitely another nice plus. Now, moving on to the Rezon Bohemia, let's talk about the technical specifications, starting with the top speed and acceleration. The Alrendo has a top speed of 135 km per hour, while the Rezon Bohemia reaches 145. When I personally tested the Bohemia, I only managed to hit 137 km per hour, but even with that, it is still the faster car. But the most important thing is the acceleration dynamics. I measured the Rezon Bohemia, 3 seconds to 60 km per hour and 6 seconds to 100 km per hour. By the way, the manufacturer claims 5 seconds to 100, but I say 6, because that's how long it took me to accelerate. And I measured this using GPS. Compared to this acceleration, the Alrendo feels sluggish, because I didn't measure the numbers. By the way, does anyone know the exact figures? The acceleration dynamics on the A. Laurenot S from 0 to 60 km per hour and to 100. Just leave a note in the comments, but I didn't measure it with a GPS device. However, I have to say I've ridden both bikes. And it feels like the Alrendo, with its maximum acceleration, is roughly the same performance as the Rezon Bohemia. Probably in the minimum eco mode. The next important characteristic for an electric bike is its charging speed. We won't talk about range, it's about the same here. The only difference is that with the Rezon, the guys immediately say, we have 300 kilometers, while Alrendo says, we have 400 kilometers. But then when they measured it, it turned out to be 300. And they were like, well, basically, yeah, 400. That's with a Korean girl going downhill on a sunny day with a tailwind. Basically, they just made excuses. The charging device. Both have a built-in charger here. Alrendo has a single Type 2 port, and it can be plugged either into a regular outlet or into an electric car charging station. But the built-in charger isn't all that powerful, so it takes 4 hours to fully charge to 100%. The Rezon Bohemia, first of all, has 2 ports. There is a Type 2 and a CCS2. This is what it all looks like. And charging from an electric car charging station here takes only 2 hours. And in just 4 short hours, you can charge from a standard household outlet. I couldn't resist filming a quick little update about the charging, just like with the Rezon. Rental. It doesn't want to close. Damn, there's still a gap of about half a centimeter left here. Maybe it's some kind of... Let's leave it at that. Anyway, just imagine, you're riding a bike worth $1 million and somewhere on some road, I don't know, on gravel or just on bad Moscow asphalt, and you end up with this. Nice. Next, the quality of the suspension. The setup here is basically the same, because the suspension geometry on both the Alrendo and the Rezon is essentially identical. The only difference is that the Rezon uses more expensive parts. More expensive front ends, more expensive forks. And even though the suspension on the Alrendo is the overall quality seems quite good, certainly better than what you find on most budget electric bikes, but on the Rezon it is still even better. Regarding the braking system, it is also different on the Rezon, and it is significantly better as well. This is because on the Alrendo you get calipers from an unknown generic brand, but here you have high performance Nysin calipers. And by the way, here's another interesting detail. Here, take a look, the rear brake disc is made in the same style as the front one. But on the Alrendo, the front brake discs are the same, but for some reason the rear one is just a regular round disc with holes. Why couldn't find one? Let's start a little flash mob and look for sellers who don't understand what they're selling. So let's visit the official websites or detailed video reviews of Rezon and Alrendo to check the specs and see exactly where it says or mentions the use of 4-piston calipers. Because apparently this was copied from a Chinese website. Basically, I saw it on the Chinese website too, both on Rezon and Alrendo. There, they say it's like a 4-piston brake system. What they mean is that they have 2 calipers and 2 pistons in each. So here is 1 piston and here is the second piston. So there are 2 sections for pistons here. And our guys who copied this from the website apparently don't really understand it themselves. They say something like, there are 2 4-piston calipers in the front. Can you imagine what a 4-piston caliper looks like? Look, here are 2. A 4-piston one should be twice as big, so it should be like arched like this. Honestly, I've never seen such calipers in real life, but for some reason, it's not just listed somewhere, it's even mentioned in some videos that they're supposedly 4-piston calipers. Let's move on to the features and extras that can't be attributed to either the technical specs or the design. And here Alrendo starts to pull ahead, because Alrendo has adjustable brake levers while the Rezon just has standard ones. But actually, that's not the case, because this is the first batch of bikes, and there really wasn't any adjustment yet. But starting from the next batch, there will be adjustment here. So let's move on and talk about the starting system. The Lavina can only be started with a key. In the traditional way, the Rezon Bohemia can be started either with a key or using an NFC card, by simply tapping it right here. So to speak, without leaving the spot. There's also an additional display here, built into the top of the tank. What does it display? You can find out more in our full review, which is linked in the description below. The result bag game also has cruise control, but on the Alrendo, well, you'll have to twist the handle yourself. There's no cruise button. The Alrendo TS Bravo is equipped with rather questionable controllers. They're not of very good quality, and their appearance isn't great either. As for things you could nitpick here, first of all, what is this? What is this joint here? On the mic, there's just some kind of seam here that your finger catches on. Switching the turn signals left and right. And to turn them off, you somehow have to set them exactly to the center. And if you accidentally push too far, you switch it to the other side. Overall, it's strange. On the other controller, look at how you turn this on. The lights. What is this? To turn on the parking lights, you need to press one button. To turn on the headlights, you need to press another, basically. No words. And the gear shifting is the same as the turn signals. People really didn't bother at all. 1, 2, 3. It looks like we're in the year 2000, but it's actually 2024. Rezon Bohemia. Beautiful control panels, good quality, pleasant to the touch, even with backlighting. And all the switches are normal with these little levers. As for the turn signals, you don't even have to press them. They return to their original position by themselves. You turn them off. By pressing right in the center, well, everything is done properly. So why exactly can't they put these same control panels on the bike for the same price? They are widely available everywhere and are even better in quality. The Alrendo is fully equipped with the world-famous brand Timson tires, while the Rezon Bohemia features some high-quality Michelin tires instead, some kind of Michelin. What is that? Where did they get it? That seems to be all the differences between the Alrendo. Regarding the TS Bravo and the Rezon Bohemia, if I happen to forget to mention any of their key differences, please write about them in the comments section below, as I will read them and take note.